by Slimani.
What a goal from George Bulldog! Finished by Oli McBurney.
What is happening, Blades? Welcome back to the Blades Ramble. Before we get into this, I first just want to give my best wishes and send in thoughts and prayers to Malk Beaumont. Malk and Sue are big supporters of the channel, and Malk's going through some difficulties at the minute. So thoughts and prayers to the family. I hope that performance from the Blades tonight at least did you proud, despite the result. Because wow, what a disappointing kicker at the end that was. Some positives, in fact, a fair few positives, some surprising positives to take out of the game tonight. Some surprising disappointments. So, what do we think? I saw the lineup and I thought, oh my God. And a couple of people chucked it back at me because I put it on Twitter saying, if this lineup gets anything, or that's a shocking lineup or something like that. And to be fair, and rightly so, people came back at me and said, well, what do you expect him to pick? What can he pick? And I was saying, I won't have Osborne at right wing back. I'd try somebody who's natural there, like Sai Sachdev. Proven wrong. Ozzy had a great game tonight. Can't fault him. I would have Trusty in there for Jack Robinson. Stand by that, but Jack Robinson didn't do much wrong either, I didn't think. So you can argue that Eki were okay in making that call and right in making that call. I also said I won't have Max Lowe anywhere near this team. Just get him out of the side. I would personally move Robinson there and slot Trusty in. We all know my thoughts on Robinson, but I don't rate Lowe at all. And I think, you know, if you weren't already on board with that theory, then you will be after tonight. And I don't rate Larouci from what I've seen. Listen, I think that were his best game in a Blades shirt, but I still don't think he were very good tonight. And I know a lot of people came on and thought he was. But listen, that's what we're here to do, isn't it? We're here to talk about it. I thought Gus Hamer is an absolute superstar. I think that goal were unbelievable. And I think he will be some player. I think for the first 10 minutes, he must have been looking around saying, what have I joined here? What have I done? But to be fair to lads, even though I don't think the quality is there, Hamer and Vinny Souza, who looks an absolute beast, and you can see exactly what Eki's seen in him now. He will fit our... We've not had a player like him before. I think he took a while to warm up and grease his wheels a little bit. First 10 minutes were a little bit off the pace, maybe. But after that, I thought he dominated the midfield, gave it to Hamer, and Hamer did his thing. And I think there's shoots of real optimism there. I thought Norwood played very well alongside him. Can't say any other. And I thought two of the more reliable players in the side, Egan and Anel, were very shaky at times. Overall, they were okay. But I think they were both, and I've seen a lot say Egan, but I also think Anel has to hold his hands up, particularly for first. Both responsible for goals. And they are our two best centre-halves, the ones we rely on predominantly, and they are the ones that have cost us today with two silly mistakes. I think Egan's got to stay with his man for first one, but Anel can see him drift back a little bit, Awunyi, so Anel's got to go to him. That's just my opinion. And then the second one, I don't know what Egan's doing with his little attempt at a flick header away or whatever it was. And Wood, to be fair to Wood, steers one in. Far post, great header. But just disappointing, weren't it? Look, Wes made some good routine saves tonight, but I thought he could have done better with first goal. I thought he almost got caught coming out of his area. And I think fundamentally what I've taken from tonight is what I knew already was in there, that fighting spirit of the Blades in terms of how we battle back against adversity, and we thrive in that underdog tag. We do, and our levels raise massively when our backs are against the wall, and I love that because it shows that when we say that the recruitment team and Eki and everybody that they want, they're looking to the character of players. And that's what they recruit on. As much as anything else that they can do with the ball, they look at attitude and character and determination. We've got that in abundance, no danger. But the quality isn't there. So you look at somebody like Wes and you think, oh, well, he played well for Wes. Well, that's not good enough, is it? We need him to play well for a Premier League goalkeeper. You know, same with Jack Robinson for me. And I'm not just saying it about tonight, because tonight he played okay and didn't do much wrong. We need somebody a level up. We definitely need a new left wing back. But I think for me, Ozzy has done enough to stay in the team. So if George is fit, fingers crossed, move Ozzy to left wing back. And I'm not an Ozzy fan, but I don't think you can argue with that performance tonight. So I'm happy to hold my hands up and say, you keep your shirt. But when Bash came on for Sousa, I've watched game tonight on my own and I said out loud, well, that's game gone then. And listen, that's harsh on Bash. And I could have been proved wrong at any time because the game was still really open after that. And Bash played okay. And I'm not this in against Basham either. It just, I think, highlighted massively the gulf in depth between the two sides. They bring on Alanga and Wood. We bring on Hackford and Chris Basham and Andre Brooks. Listen, I were really pleased Andre Brooks got on, but we chucked this lad in at deep end in different positions every time. If he had a starting berth in centre midfield like he did against Tottenham, then he might show us something else. But listen, I ain't got any complaints about that middle three today that started. How can you, when particularly Gus? Left wing back is a huge problem. I don't think we'll get another left wing back because of the numbers that we've got on the books. He's chosen Larouci, and I know a lot of people have warmed to Larouci tonight. I haven't particularly. I think if that penalty is awarded, which it should have been, he's the villain, isn't he, in the piece tonight? So it just shows what sliding doors moments we're up against. So positives and negatives to take from tonight. It was a massively improved performance from Palace, and it gives you little shoots of hope, like we were saying, little bits of optimism that there's light at the end of the tunnel. We get a striker in who can actually cause defenders some problems, because I thought those two centre-halves, McKenna and Worrell, bumping into each other all the time. And fair play to Will and Traore, worked their socks off. But I think we needed somebody a bit more wily. If McBurney even had been fit, I think he'd have caused them all sorts of problems. So I'm going to get into your comments now. Let me know what you think. You may well completely disagree with me, but that's what it's about, isn't it? And it's tonight. Listen, I've followed Nick. Nick does a match reaction on Sheffield United way, and this is by no means intended to copy or tag onto or anything like that. It's more, I'm coming on and I'm venting how I feel about it. So I'm not going to give you like a match breakdown, because Nick's done that on Sheffield United way, and he's talked you through the game stage by stage. For me, it's more about, come on, what did we like about it? What didn't we like about it? This is my feelings about it, and you know, whether you agree or not, we'll see, won't we? So we'll jump into some comments. W Socket says, what are we buying after that one? I think we just need a clinical striker, don't we? And somebody to break the lines between midfield and attack. So number 10 for me, and a left wing back, which we're not going to get. We need a striker so badly, Jimmy, says Liam. Benny should have buried that. Yeah, if Benny buries that chance, and I don't think he could have done much more with it, to be fair, because he's gone low to the side of the keeper and he's just got down well. And Hamer is out. He is outrageous, and what a goal he scored. I like the look of Sousa as well. Larouci looked decent when he came on. Yeah, and that's most opinions I've seen. Mr. Vancouver says, better performance today, but lacking quality up front and more injuries to Traore and Sousa. Who did we piss off? Listen, if you look at, I couldn't believe it, Mr. V. You look at our injury, Traore should have scored. He's saying here, could have been a different outcome. City next up. But if you look at our injury list, it's starting again, isn't it? It's starting again, and with so many out injured, and we look threadbare, don't we? It's worrying. It is worrying. Even with 2 to 3 new signings, says Paul, our bench is still so weak. No strength in depth. Egan also worry these first 2 games. Completely agree, pal. Completely agree. And I'm a huge Egan fan, and I'm not saying it's time to replace him. But somebody said tonight, he's screaming of a performance that says, I haven't got any competition. in my place. I think there's merit to that. I can't believe how unlucky that was. The game was over from the start. Really unlucky with a new striker. I think we could really win some games. Absolutely, Freddie. And I love the positivity. We might come on to Cameron Archer if we've got a bit of time for that. But yeah, I think somebody in that mould would be just what the doctor ordered for us, to be honest. Dave, one of our ramblers. Thumbs up to Dave. Thank you, pal. Feeling a lot more positive after this. Get the new lads fit and those attacking options sorted, and we'll compete. Yeah, I agree. It's a lot more optimistic, isn't it, after tonight, even if it were a sucker punch at end. Low is awful, says Middledale. Egan and Robinson are dodgy. Norwood shouldn't start. I thought Norwood were all right tonight, and I'm a big critic of him at times. And I thought Robinson looked okay tonight as well, to be honest. Don't know what Wes is doing sprinting out of his box. Neither do I. Injuries and the owner not spending and bringing in enough players has cost us. Fair points. Paul says, evening, Jimmy. Another one of our ramblers. Thank you, pal. Very unlucky tonight, as I feel we played really well at times and had much better second half. Even Larouci looks better tonight. Yeah, he did look better. Just, it's not just the penalty claim though. Where was he when the cross comes in from the right for the second goal for the winner? I think it's Aurier again who has so much space and time to deliver a quality ball in for Chris Wood. That's Larouci's man when we're out of possession. We were let down by the bench today and individual errors. We had to bring on the kids who aren't good enough. Not their fault at all, but it's the truth, the situation we've been forced into. What I didn't understand was, listen, Eki works with more than us, and I certainly don't see enough of them to make an informed judgment, but we've got Louis Marsh sat on bench, and I know he's a little bit slight, and you could argue underdeveloped in terms of his frame. But he's just got an hat-trick and an assist a few games prior, and we bring on Antoine Hackford. I'm not saying Hackford isn't a good prospect as well, but don't you go for the lad that's in the hot streak in terms of his gold? Sousa and Hamer were great. Larouci needs final end products, but definitely an upgrade on low. Trusty needs to start. Yeah, I agree with majority of that. Trusty and Slimani, crazy omissions tonight. Didn't deserve to lose. I think Slimani's picked up an injury that were reported in a foreign tabloid that he wouldn't be in the squad tonight. Trusty, I don't get. Listen, I've seen the argument that Robinson hasn't done anything wrong to lose his shirt, and I understand that. But I think we've got to scrap the sentiment and go with quality. Listen, tonight, Eki was ruthless, and it's what I like to see. Lowe had an absolute stinker of a first half, and credit to Eki for changing it when he did, because it's a big call, that. But there's not enough of it, I don't think. And listen, Trusty might not be the answer, but pace in this league is everything. And if we get caught out at the back, we're going to struggle. This just shows we need a proper striker. Shocking start, but second half was much better. We need the new boys to get up to speed ASAP. Yeah, we do, Neil. Agreed, pal. Thought Osborne was great considering it's not his position and on his wrong foot. Yeah, he was. Only got good once. Done once, I think that probably is badly by Elanga. Very, very late on. He's surprising me this season. Yeah, Osborne started well. I don't think there's anything else we can say about that, to be fair. I'm on record and I'm not going to try and flip-flop between my opinions. I still don't think he's got the quality. But in terms of upping his levels and the hitting a streak of solid and decent performances, Ozzy's right up there. Best of a bad bunch at the moment, we have to say. But I had a feeling, Gaz says, I had a feeling Chris Wood would score. Better performance though, up the mighty Blades. Man City next. Yeah, not to worry about, is the pal? Not to worry about at all. Thickner this evening, says Tom. Positives were, I thought, for the first time, our new signings looked decent. Yeah, so did I. Lack of depth is a crime, and so disheartening for all Blades. I'm sure the players, and I'm sure the players too. Yeah, completely agree, Tom. Good comment. Not blaming Traore at all, but Archer doesn't miss that chance. No, he doesn't. You're right. I thought Traore played well, was just too tired and never seemed like he was going to score. Yeah, I think he didn't do much wrong at all, did he? I think he harried and he closed down, and that's what our game's all about. We always have such a high press, which has brought a lot of success because we press so high. but that in itself is knackering. So, yeah, it's a tough ask to keep push all the time, and with no real quality underneath on that bench, have we or proven quality, I should say, to come in and push him. But an Archer starts, then a Traore comes on at 70 minutes, full of fresh legs and quickness. It could be a different story, couldn't it? Liam, welcome, pal. Thanks for cheering me up tonight. Becoming a new member, one of our Ramblers now. Welcome to the team, pal. Tom says we need our club in the hands of an owner with some ambition. Makes me angry that they're prepared to go at this season half-assed and not give Eki and the team a fighting chance. These are all fair comments and opinions. I would argue and say that he knows what his budget is, and he's chosen every single player he's purchased, and there is still money there to be spent. I've had a couple of back and forths with people, and this isn't about the ownership. This is just about player targets. Even in our WhatsApp group for Ramblers, where should we move on from Archer? Well, once we've missed the deadline for the Forest game, we've got City up next in a week. I know we've got Lincoln Cup, but we've got City up next. And then it's deadline before we play Everton. So why would we move on? We certainly need to be talking to people in the background as alternatives. But why would we just drop our number one target and move on? You wouldn't do that. From what I understand about Archer, just to get everybody up to speed, we have placed a really strong offer on the table. And it's now up to Villa what they do. And they are likely sitting on it, and probably understandably so, to see if there's any bigger and better offers that come in. And there might be. And if there is, then we might be priced out. But if there aren't, then it's worth staying in the race, isn't it, for me, for such a quality player? Because I do think he makes the difference for us. Much like Hamer is a huge level up. And this is what we're talking about, isn't it? It's not about the quality. It's not about, the endeavour and the determination and the character per se, because if the quality isn't there, then you're still not going to get over the line. Whereas Hamer has the quality. Archer has the quality. These are players that absolutely lift us up. I think you only need 1, 2, ideally 3 of them, and you're golden, aren't you? Got it after that, says Justin. Can't knock the players, but how many times can we say that? We tried hard. It's still not good enough. The club have let Eki down massively. Absolutely entitled to that opinion, pal. Ian says 3 crosses from the right and 3 goals by recognised experienced strikers. It's not rocket science, Jimmy. We need experienced strikers and we need to stop them crosses. Yeah, down our left, their right. It's the same formula every time, isn't it? It's COVID season repeating itself. Listen, we're 2 games in. I'm not saying we're down by any means. What I'm saying is you can see the obvious patterns. Teams figure out your weaknesses at this level very quickly, and they've got the quality to just keep hammering home at that weakness. Max Lowe was the target tonight. Jack Robinson down that side isn't our strongest centre-back. That will be the target for teams if we don't up our levels. Reece Norrington-Davies can't come back soon enough, but do we need something better? On the bright side, Hamer and Sousa are class. Absolutely right they are, Ian. Absolutely right. Stick Reece Norrington-Davies, Brewster, Ollie Mack in there tonight, and you'd be confident of beating that Forest side. We desperately need someone in up top. It's almost unfair on the 2 lads starting to make a judgment. I agree, and I don't think people are judging them as Premier League strikers, but I suppose I'm making an argument for that we probably should. We're all saying Asula did great, put a real shift in. Traore did great, put a shift in. But what we're not saying is, or what we're sort of coming to the conclusion of, they're just not good enough at the moment. They haven't got that extra bit of quality that we need. And it's not a criticism of them. They're doing their absolute best. But we need to level up on the quality. I'm going to get a bit repetitive on that, but it's so frustrating. Evening, Daz. Overall, a vast improvement from Saturday. Absolutely right. Deserved a draw all day long. One massive negative for me, thankfully disappeared at half time. Seriously, Max Lowe, what on earth? I'm with you, brother. Only one person to blame is the Prince, says Mo. Happy to discuss that if you want to provide a bit of context. Michael J. Needham, top Rambler. They brought on Elanga and Woods. We brought on Brooks and Hackford. Both got huge potential, but simply doesn't cut it at this level. Up the blades and up the ramble. Thank you, pal. Really appreciate it. As always, yeah, you nailed it. I think I said it myself, didn't I, earlier on? Justin Rice, what's your honest opinion of the club letting Eki down in the transfer market? With City next, 3 defeats in a row, tough start. I would ask, how has he been let down? I think he's been let down in terms of the turnaround of signings. I don't think we've got people in quick enough. I think we've gone for every player we've brought in has been a Eki target, and I think somebody said we've brought in 7 players now, and they've all been Eki's choice, and players that maybe a lot of fans want. A certain number 22, and I don't mean the one that's now wearing the shirt. If Eki chooses no, you don't want him, then that's Eki's decision. Larouci, I still think there's a massive question mark over him. But you see tonight, Sousa, over 10 million quid, great player. Looks like a real great signing. Trusted for 5 mil. Sat on bench, I don't know why, because I think he'll be a really good signing for us. Hamer for 15 mil. I think that, how you can say he's not been backed in that respect. The only thing is, we haven't got that Illiman replacement. We're not going to get a like for like on Illiman. We know that because we didn't get his true value. So we've got less money to get somebody as close to Illiman as we can. Always said, and this will be on record, the only way I will be happy with Illiman going anywhere, and this were probably when I first started rambling, I said this, would be when if we get Cameron Archer. That would be the only thing that softens the blow for me. And now we could have Cameron Archer. And I think I think we have this conversation again just in 2 weeks' time when window closes, and I'll be happy to concede that he's been let down if the squad doesn't look a lot stronger than it does now. I think the only thing at the moment we can criticise is the timing, and there are reasons for that. But yeah, I completely understand people's point when they say that. But I think it's what it's going to look like on September 1st, isn't it? That's the important thing. Live in how long? Stop delaying, lad. We're here for you. Sorry, Dempsey, lad. I originally scheduled it for 10:15, but Nick were on doing his match reaction, and there's no point us being like, we're mates for one, but there's no point in us going live together at the same time because I take viewers from him, he takes viewers from me, and you all probably watch both or whatever it might be. So I just had to push it back a little bit. So a lot of positives tonight, says Darren. We're getting stronger. The team coming together, Hamer say no more. Absolutely right. And then by contrast, Matthew says we were shocking. I think we were for the first 10 minutes. And I thought, oh no, it's Palace again. We're just going to be under Kosh. I think there were a little spell in the second half where we again went into a shell a little bit. But other than that, I was very encouraged by performance, particularly knowing we haven't finished in terms of our recruitment. We haven't got the quality out there on the pitch that we'd want, but we were still hanging in there. And there were every chance that result could have gone the other way tonight. Every chance. Dangling Dog says, I think we're unlucky, played well, but I think we desperately need a new striker. We do, pal. No doubt about it. Andy says, somehow I'm both irritated and encouraged at the same time in regards to how that midfield could end up. Completely agree. Not just midfield, but I think the whole night for me, I'm both irritated and encouraged. I think that's a great way of describing it. Rafi says that was a much better performance. We were unlucky. Our midfield was excellent, especially Norwood. Osborne also very good. And Larouci way better than Lowe. Concerned with the centre-backs, especially Egan. Mo's arguing that point. We weren't shocking. Tim says, there were times when you could see a recognised quality striker would have buried that ball in the back of the net, but we didn't have one, and it didn't happen. No. Matthew clearly didn't watch the game. Going to get some stick for that one, I think, saying we were shocking, Matthew. Kev says, good performance, lack of concentration in the first and last 5 cost us. Yeah, probably fair. Probably fair that. It was a much improved performance from last week. It was. I'm way behind with comments already. Thank you, everybody, for putting your comments in. But I'm just going to try and whiz through some. Evening, Rich. Great performance tonight. Defence looks shaky, but Robbo was the best of the 3, so can't see him dropping him. I can't either. much happy with that performance, and what a goal by Hamer. Absolutely right. Evening, Tom. Finally caught me live. Yeah, nice to see you, pal. Much appreciated. Stu says, Aussie Traore Souza, man of the matches. We have to get Trusty in the 11. Well, I agree, we do. But like it's been mentioned, I don't know if you can drop Robbo. Ian, welcome to the team, pal. You'll now get access to our WhatsApp group and exclusive content, which I haven't done for a little bit, and I need to get back onto. It's just been so busy. And I tend to answer every single question from Scott in the group. So Tom says, think Larouci changed the game on that left-hand side. I thought it was pretty good. Fair play, Tom. Fair play. He's not quite for me yet. As I say, I think there were two big glaring errors. If that penalty is awarded against us, he's the villain, and he needs to stop that cross for the winning goal. I think he looked a little bit hesitant in possession, but he also got up and down the line very well, and brought an attacking threat that Max Lowe didn't have. Kristen says, hi Jimmy, good performance, and disappointed that we didn't get anything from the game. Hamer and Souza were quality. Left-hand side caught us out again. Lowe's not good enough. We need recruitments fast. No, I just don't think we're going to get it down left, unfortunately. Hamer's such an improvement on Sander. Completely agree. Imagine a midfield of Hamer, Souza, Doyle. You'll have to keep imagining it, I think, pal, to be honest. Sorry to say. Much better, says Ian. Our latest Rambler. Thank you, pal. Hamer, Souza look great signings. Asula put a great shift in. Even Larouci looked a different player. Yeah, I'll take that. And I think I'm in minority tonight saying about Larouci, but, we'll have opinions, don't we? Phil, with three quarters. What am I doing here? Phil, with 3 or 4 good players away from staying up, says Kristen. Yeah, maybe. We need Trusty to start, says Adam. He can act as a sweeper for Egan when he gets caught. Yeah, I agree. This is it, isn't it? We're getting caught out with the pace potentially. With Robinson there, with no pace on that left-hand side, and we become vulnerable. Egan must do better positionally. Yeah, he should. He needs to. Where was Slimani? Is he injured? Yeah, he is currently, unfortunately. SUFTV says, once Benny scores, he'll get a fair few. Hate losing to Forest, says JC. Me too, pal. Me too. Don't think Larouci looked that bad. Low costs us. Bash played well when he came on, but we definitely need a striker. Yeah, I think that's fair. Hamer, Souza and Traore looked great. Larouci looked far improved as well. Yeah, he did. Tom says, Benny was brilliant up front for me, trying hard. Can see him being I think there's a player in there, isn't there? Definitely. Nell hasn't been the same since he had glandular fever. I agree with that. I really do agree with that point. Yes, I do. Right. I think I'm more or less caught up to everybody. I know I've missed a fair few out, and I do apologise for that. I'll give it another 2 minutes, and then we'll wrap up. Sickening result in the end. I thought we were decent. Yeah, that's fair, Nico. Desperately need a striker, and Hamer looked great. Yeah, I think we're all on a similar wavelength tonight, aren't we? Disappointing from Egan. Ananel, I would say. Surprisingly good from Ozzy. Norwood. Larouci. L-Dog says, I'm honestly mortified if I'm being honest. This defence needs a shuffle. I'd like to see what Trusty adds. And if we don't sign a striker this week, may as well call the season off. That's not the way. Me, myself, and McAtee. I knew you'd change it. Yeah, but he's not our player, is he? It were in Dyer, weren't it? But anyway. Thought we looked brilliant tonight. Every single new player looked promising and an improvement on previous players. Need to get Robbo and Ozzy out, in my opinion, still. Need depth too off the bench. I would agree with that overall. But I don't think you can criticise performance tonight, if I'm honest. So, yeah, that's us, I think. I can't see any more comments, even though it looks like it were a while since the last one were posted, which I don't think is quite right. It's been static on how many people in the room. So I might be having a little glitch like we've had before on the Ramblers Only stream. So apologies if you're continuing to comment and I can't see it. But yeah, I usually ramble on for way too long in these things. So to get done in just about half an hour, I think we've done all right, haven't we? So thanks, everybody. I will be back before I go away. I'll go away on Tuesday. and you'll see me before then. I can't remember off the top of my head what I've got planned, but I've got a few bits in the pipeline. So, yeah, overall, semi-pleased and disappointed with Sucker Punch at the end. But, yeah, there's certainly a lot more positivity coming out of this result as War Palace. It's just a shame to lose to them, isn't it? And, you know, bring on City next week, easier. It just gets easier. So, yeah, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. All your contributions, very much appreciated. Come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blades.